and welcome to The Bond. Today we have something very special in mind, and that is because we are live. We have the opportunity to invite the founder of CSAT, this very station, to talk to us about future plans and the fact that they are celebrating 13 years of broadcasting. And with that, I would like to invite Heidi onto our show. So Heidi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you, Jody.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And I wanted to share with you and reveal to our audience for the very first time that I went on a special assignment.
Yes.
And it was really exciting. It took a lot of work. Look at this prep that I had to go and learn about this assignment. And there was so much that was involved with it, but I had a fabulous time. What I wanted to do was understand how this show, which focuses on nature topics and sustainability and building community through better relationships, how the military actually supports us from doing that. And so let's go ahead and first, before we get into finding out more about CSAT, let's go ahead and run the video and see what our assignment was.
I'm Joe Bond. You've seen The Bond. It's the show which interviews experts on nature and sustainability related topics. And you know I've interviewed policymakers, think tanks, dog breeders, pig trainers, falconers, spear fishermen, yacht makers. I've even held a tarantula and interviewed a baby alligator. But today I've been sent on special assignment. And in this report, I want to find out one thing. How does America defend my right to enjoy nature? I've heard the Miramar base in San Diego has a department called the Environment Management Team. So this base, and I suspect others in California, have actually exceeded the Department of Defense renewable energy initiatives. And they collaborate with the County of San Diego, along with this whole state of California. So I was thrilled to find out that the most revered, the most feared military force in the world even excels at keeping our environment healthy for future generations. I mean, talk about excelling in all aspects of life. Now, the Blue Angels pilots is more than just an aerobatic flying team. They embody and demonstrate the prowess of our entire military forces to defend us, regular everyday citizens. They also conduct outreach to hospitals, schools, and other community functions because they used to be our neighbors and now they have stepped up to decide to defend us. So the expertise of the pilots for all of the aircraft and military craft means that I want to check out everything from the Osprey to the F-35, the F-22, Blue Angel F-18, and even non-flying vehicles like the ACV or the amphibious combat vehicle. I wanted to uncover the support structure that makes the Blue Angels outstanding. I mean, there are so many innovations produced by the military, and I only have a limited time. My mission today is to bond with the support structure that everyday folk like me don't often see. So who is it that flies that F-22? Let's find out. You see, some people think that our armed forces are only good in times of war, but during times of peace and prosperity, our military continues to innovate, collaborate, and discover better ways to keep America strong. The men and women who learn how to operate these cutting-edge vehicles, the engineers who build these vehicles, the maintenance crews who keep them current, do that to defend us in times of war. That's true. But they also apply those skills to humanitarian missions. Imagine a natural disaster leaving your neighbors suddenly bereft of their home, missing loved ones. Think of children who can't celebrate a traditional Christmas. Well, Marine Toys for Tots program delivers that joy. And what they do when they visit those disadvantaged children is they send a message of hope. The military absolutely has a purpose during peacetime. But my mission today includes the ACV, the amphibious combat vehicle, which can travel in almost any weather condition. The Osprey. Now this is a combination of an airplane and a helicopter that can fly backwards. The F-35B Lightning, cutting-edge jet that uses stealthy technology. The F-22 Raptor. I mean, what does it take to be part of this amazing team? NASA also has some fascinating projects. Did you know that they have something called an Acero, which can communicate with first responders even when internet and cell towers go down? I mean, that's really handy during wildfires, hurricanes, search and rescue missions, and more. NASA's also engineered the Alta X drone, which goes where people cannot. I've been told that this drone can collect data about the environment. For example, wind updrafts near buildings actually help engineers design better buildings and better aircraft that need to fly near buildings and also withstand very windy storms. I want to know what happens when a Blue Angel airplane retires. I've heard that NASA actually adds in an extra seat and repurposes that plane for ER research. ER in this case stands for Earth Resources. So their airborne science research will do things like, well, you know how when a jet travels faster than sound, it creates a sonic boom? This retired Blue Angel, I hear, actually may hold the key to designing aircraft to actually remove that sonic boom. I guess it makes it a sonic hush. I mean, it means it can fly faster than the speed of sound, but it will do it silently, stealthily, and keeping nature in balance. And finally, of course, I just want to talk to the experts to find out what happens behind the scenes. What goes beyond the Blue Angels in keeping our country safe? So, mission, ACV, Osprey, F-35B Lightning Jet, the F-22 Raptor Jet, the NASA Fireboxer Acero, the Alta X drone, and of course, Blue Angel pilots. So let's find out with whom or what I'll bond. The day started before the sun even rose. And then it was a whirlwind. So let's go.
Wow.
Wasn't that fantastic?
Wow, amazing.
I had a wonderful time. It was full, and we will definitely play more of that clip later on while we're live. But one of the amazing things is that the military actually helps me enjoy nature more. And when I can bond with nature, that means I can bond with my relationships, and that means we have better communities, and that all came from CSAT. So CSAT has been that conduit that's allowed me to convey a message of hope, unity, and of course love. And so I want to ask you, Heidi, if you could share just a little bit about how else does CSAT help the community?
We help a lot. We've been, like you said, 13 years with the community and with the Egyptian and Arab speaking, and now we're starting to do more English shows like yours. Thank you so much. It's an amazing show. The bond is really touchy and different, so you can get so attached, like to know what's next, what you can.
Good. Yeah, that makes me feel so happy.
It's really, really nice.
And that's all thanks to our fabulous viewers. So I want to say thank you to you for making the bond so successful. But tell me a little bit more about how it works with the community. You've done some amazing outreach with this station.
We first start with to get the community together.
Okay.
And we try to make it different. So like 2013, we started to do trips to Jerusalem.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
yeah, I used to take groups once or twice a year. That was really amazing because I think we only people started these things. Like we started 2013.
Yeah.
And each time you go, you want to see more, and it's really amazing to know Jerusalem in deep, like the history, the stuff in the Bible, you see it live. So it's the new Bible, you see it and you walk through. We do too a lot of stuff, like we helping people in Egypt.
How do you help people in Egypt?
Like
What sorts of issues do you...
there is some cases that we get people need surgery, people lost their legs, their
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah,
Oh, so you actually help them get prosthetics so that they can
no,
have an extra
actually,
limb?
I hope we could do that, but we do like how they get support from themselves, like not supporting monthly something. No, they want to work. So we open, like for example, a gentleman, he live in first floor and he have a window. So we brought him some cookies and books and like craft stuff, like he could sell through his window. And other people we try to get
because he couldn't leave the house because he was so sick he couldn't leave the house. So you gave him an opportunity to make a living,
and
to give him dignity.
Exactly.
See, so that's one thing that I think the audience really needs to understand is that this is more than just giving unique entertainment on an independent station. What this station is doing is it's actually conducting an outreach and actually feet on the ground, helping the community. So that means that if you chose to partner and support with this station, you're also helping to promote those fabulous, selfless acts of love that brings people dignity and hope and well-being. And I just think, thank you so much, Heidi, for sharing that, because that all brings us into a relationship with each other.
Yes.
And I know that I hope this isn't too sharp of a segue, but I know that when we're talking about relationships, there are a lot of people who feel like they are not quite connecting with people in their own homes, their families, their community, friends, and all that. And I know that we came across one of the gifts that we're going to be giving out tonight, if people decided to donate today, is that set of books, the Firebrand books. And I just wanted to share with you that this is a set of 16 books that we have here. And these 16 books, each has a continuous story. And what's nice about these is it's not just large print that's easy to read, but there's in the back some activities that you can do with a community. So if you don't know anyone, you have a way of interacting with them on a regular basis. You can either read this book alone, you can read it together in a book club. And one of the things that came out of the research for this book was that since it's set in the 1770s, we came across something called On Courtship and Marriage that was published by, I believe, Benjamin Franklin. And it was tips on how to have a better relationship during a turbulent time. This was when America was forming. It started out as 13 separate colonies. It was wanting to be managed and ruled by all sorts of different countries. And the King of England at the time said, I want your taxes. And they just wanted to be free.
Wow.
So in that time, in that backdrop, they came up with some tips and tricks. And out of that, we were able to look and do some research on various family and therapy type elements. And we came up with something. Do you want to know what we came up with?
Of course.
We came up with a paradigm of 12 gates. So if you go into these gates, you can check your own relationship. Your gate is either opened or it's closed, which means it's either true or it's false. And our first gate is on mutual respect and stability. But it's more than just the gate, more than just having that stability. There are roadblocks that might prevent you from opening that gate. And those roadblocks might be something like contempt and defensiveness. And these are all things that can really hurt a relationship.
Definitely.
I mean, have you ever encountered anyone in your travels, whether here in America or in Egypt or Israel, where they said that they do not feel like they're connecting with the people right around them?
Yes, yes, so many.
See, so
Yes.
those different roadblocks, so we have a variety of different gates and a variety of different roadblocks. And if it's all right with you, what I would love to do is, as we share my special assignment, I'd like to take a break and talk a little bit about each gate so that the world can become a better place by the time we're done
For
broadcasting.
sure, yes. I love
And of
to.
course, if you've decided that you want to go ahead and partner with us and donate, today we are not only offering a free gift depending on the level of your donation. And I just want to share with you briefly, before we go back and roll the next part, we have this amazing insulated, etched in delicate silver on blue. And it comes with a carrying strap, which you can see on the purple model right there. It fits beautifully, so you can put it on your shoulder. And it also comes with a wonderful dog toy, which is also a puzzle feeder. And each one of these challenges your dog in a different way, so you can make feeding time fun. And it's not just for dogs. You can train it with cats, as you've seen with some of our guests that have done those cat breeders.
Oh, wow.
The cats would love this, and any basic animal would be a fantastic candidate to have their meal out of one of these fabulous puzzle toys. So if you chose to donate tonight and you want to call in, then one of these gifts might be shipped to you. So with that, think about it, and we'll talk a little bit more. But why don't we go ahead and play the next part of our video.
You will see the beauty and the power of our most advanced technology merged with the professionalism, the precision, and the ironclad discipline of the people who fix and fly these airplanes.
For nearly 250 years, Marines have answered the call of our nation, serving on the front lines of every major conflict and in every corner of the globe. From the shores of Tripoli to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Marine Corps has one mission: protect the United States by being the first to fight and win.
Today to learn about the amphibious combat vehicle that's right behind us, and we're going to talk to two experts about why it's important.
I'm Sergeant Jemmers. I'm a vehicle commander of the ACV, the amphibious combat vehicle, and it is the successor to the amphibious assault vehicle for the AAV. And it's going to be a step up for the infantry and the operator. Just a ton of new technology. It's off this vehicle that you once had before with this little bit of lightning. Masco Pedro, type of missions that is used for is like ship to shore missions. Perfect. So it's the same kind of mission, same kind of maritime ship to shore means, except the infantry a lot more have to go right over there, so they're not as I guess shipped around or as not as bumpy after surf. They're not as stiff when they're getting out of this vehicle. They're already so unless they get out with their red drops or red. Sure. So it has a remote operated weapon system, or we call it the Bros. That basically mount a machine gun on top and always a TV screen and a joystick to control it. It looks kind of like a video game, but it's definitely more capable for what we just have. I'm definitely less on the mechanical side, more on the technical side. Again, you can use humanitarian demonstrations, raids, assaults, that kind of deal. Cameras, screens, our weapon systems are implemented a lot better than they once were before. So, what the Marine Corps vision is, lineup of 2030, this definitely takes more of a maritime approach that the Marine Corps is trying to have. So that's what makes us different from the Army. You have more things like that. Well, it's more of an endemic approach. Yeah. So the Marine Corps has a plan out called Force Design 2030. It's basically just a list of objectives that the Marine Corps is trying to meet by that year 2030. And one of the big lives is getting back to its maritime in this, and this is prime example of that.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Initiative 2030 at Willis-Peace?
Yes, right where we got like that force design. You took out the 2030. So this year, we renamed our Force Design 2030 concept just Moose Divines. And the reason is the Marine Corps is continuously innovating, and we're continuously trying to, test new concepts that'll prepare us to live in joy.
And it sounds like you're a little ahead of schedule also. It's not 2030 yet, and you're still meeting goals.
We're trying.
So that's fabulous. So again, that leads into why the Marines are a little ahead of schedule in innovation and setting the example for us all.
So I wanted to share that talking to the team with the amphibious combat vehicle was really interesting, because not only have they developed this piece of equipment to be more technical and use more computers, but they also can use it in humanitarian missions as well as in combat missions. And one of the things that they were explaining was that if you're going to battle, then you want your troops or your soldiers to be fresh and ready to defend.
Yes.
But if they're exhausted because they're traveling in a little tiny sardine can, that does nobody any good. So what this particular redesign did is it leveraged some of the latest technology, and it said, we want our troops to be fresh and ready to do what they need to do, because it might be a rescue mission. It might be, I need to save someone, and every second counts if they're going to be extracting someone.
Wow.
They made it so that it could work in almost any weather, in mud, in going through water. I mean, things that normal vehicles just could not go through. This thing can definitely go through like it was a hot knife through butter.
Wow. Amazing.
It really is amazing. And they're doing this and keeping in mind how they innovate during peacetime. And that's one of the things that some people came up to me and mentioned, not during here, but they were thinking, why should we fund the military? Because it's only good for war. So if we're not having a war, we don't need them. That's not the case at all.
True.
We absolutely need them, because some of our best ideas come from there. And so I'm really excited about the other things that we're going to be showing later. But first, I wanted to draw a little bit of attention to the products that we have here, which is going to be another gift with purchase. If you look at these two mugs right here, you'll see that those two mugs, when they come together, they form a heart.
Oh.
And they were designed for people who love nature and love animals and love the adventure on the road.
Wow.
So you'll notice that there is a blue mug and there is a red mug. And just like with our books, we wanted everything to spark conversations, because we want to encourage communities to get to know each other in real life.
Yes.
And so when you see that the red mug is for the boys and the blue mug is for the girls, and they each come with a miniature BMW that actually was made in Germany by an expert model maker.
Wow.
So these are fabulous, super high quality, and it's a nice gift to give to someone that you think has everything and you want to surprise them and show them that they really are your other half.
Wow, that's really nice gift.
It is.
Yes.
And there's a little tiny did you know type fact on the back, just like there's a little tiny did you know type fact in all of these things. And the reason why we put those in those designs is to make sure that you have something to talk about. So if you want to meet somebody across the room at your local coffee shop, all you have to do is say, hey, did you know? And start a conversation.
That's nice.
And so now that we've talked a little bit about the gifts, I want to ask you with CSAT, if you're going to be meeting your fundraising goal today, could you share with our audience just a couple of projects that you have in mind?
Well, a lot.
You do? Oh,
yes,
fabulous.
because
I'd love to hear about it.
Yes, I have a big dream. I want to have the channel goes everywhere with a high quality camera and
better equipment.
Of course, better equipment. We need more people to work because they working very hard here. They are my kids. That's what I always tell them. So
that is so nice. So you treat all of your crew like family.
Exactly.
And that means that if people donate, they can also be part of that family,
of course.
Right? Okay.
Yes, indeed. That's what we feel. We are one family, care about each other. God give you something to do, and each one different than the other. So people can give money, people can pray, people can work, people can donate their time like you do. People, they have ideas, new ideas in a show or something. I hope we can have like a sound studio.
A sound studio. So what would you do with a sound studio? Would you
hymns and
produce your own music?
Music and stuff.
Would you dub things into other languages?
Of course, that's the really good one to get the youth and the people or the kids born here. They need to feel like they have a part here.
So second generation Egyptians who are born here in America, you want them to feel American, but you also want them to be in contact with their community.
Exactly.
And that is perfect because everybody comes from somewhere.
Yes.
And I think we can all be friends, we can all be loving, we can all have fabulous, healthy relationships.
For sure.
Just like with the gates from the author from the old wisdom, which still holds true today.
This idea. Yes, yes, it's a really good gift too.
And I think that's really fantastic. So you're going to be doing a sound studio.
Yes.
And then is that going to mean that you're going to be looking for some talent?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, fabulous!
We're looking for talented, like people. They know how to play guitar, play any kind of music.
So the studio needs to be big enough for somebody to sit down and play a guitar.
Yes, and voice. Some people, they
Singing.
have of course, they have very good voice.
And speaking voices. Yes, we must enunciate and have a good speaking voice.
Yes.
Well, then that brings me back to my second gate. We have a gate on the mutual respect at first, but then we also had another gate, which is open communication. Now, open communication is really important because, as you know, it's not just communicating and talking about what you need and what you don't want, what you like and all that. It's more like, how are you communicating with your words and also with your actions? So, for example, are you inviting someone over to have a conversation with you and then your nose is just looking at something else, or you're looking at your phone, or you're watching TV and you're not paying any attention to them? Maybe take a minute and actually think about that, because there are going to be a couple of roadblocks to doing open communication. One is stonewalling, and this means that you're going to be shutting down. You're going to get rid of discussions by just avoiding the topic altogether. And you're going to become unresponsive when your partner wants to talk about something. Or you're going to be using criticism. And criticism is like issuing a personal attack in order to make yourself feel bigger. And so you dismiss it and go, well, I mean, obviously, I'm more serious than you are. And do you really think your little problem is worth anything? And so when you're, like from the notes, when you're giving criticism, You are instinctively issuing personal attacks on the other person instead of saying what you really mean to say, and you dismiss it by saying, "Can't you take a joke?" If you're getting criticism, then you might be surprised that this is not something that you can discuss with your partner. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, you feel like unsure of yourself, and that's not the good basis of a relationship. So those are two roadblocks, possible roadblocks, that might keep your gate shut with open communication, and we want that gate to be opened. And of course, we want at least half a dozen of the gates to be opened, right?
Right.
So with that, let's go ahead and recap. On gate 1, we had mutual respect, and then the most common roadblocks was contempt and defensiveness. And this gate is open communication, where possible roadblocks could be stonewalling and criticism. So have you ever encountered someone who was just weighed down by criticism, or tried to just not deal with any sort of serious issue by just trying to dismiss it and throwing roadblocks in the way?
For sure, there is people that you can meet.
Yeah.
You can help them to change their mind, put another way to think, to get closer to them, to talk and get them feel more secure, more open, more trusted.
Right.
Yeah, so
And the
yeah,
more trusting you are, the healthier your relationship. And
Yes.
so for some of our audiences, here's some questions that you can ask yourself. And this is not just a romantic relationship. This could be any relationship. So ask if you feel a bond of trust with your partner. Ask yourself if you have boundaries when it comes to other activities interfering with your relationship. Do you have boundaries if you are a couple with your single friends versus your coupled friends? And what do you think is the most common way to navigate disagreements with your partner? Do you feel comfortable saying, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with this. Let's talk about it and see how we can resolve it"? Or, "I realize that you believe this way, I believe that way. We will never change our beliefs, but I'm okay with that. And so I'm not going to try and change you." So think about all of those different things. And this is wisdom of the ages. And that's why we want to weave these facts into our fiction series with these books that you just might get when you donate today. And so think about that. And we'll come back to our next gate after we play this next part of the video.
Prepare to be inspired.
So first off, can you tell me what the features are to take a bill is?
Well, it's a type for aircraft, so it can not the like even night, and
And what does that need?
for a critical angle behind, and they can do a vertical takeoff or land it, or you can land it both forward, not or like an airplane. Fly like you never land on British.
So how fast can it go?
It can go up to 270 knots. So before we take it out, we'll do a brief with our entire crew. So we're both co-pilots, and we'll brief with the aircraft commander, the crew chiefs, and then if we have any crew that's assisting with the mission that day, they'll sit in on it. We'll go over our route, what we expect to see on that route, and then kind of the environment of whatever destination we're going to, so we know what to expect so you get in there.
And what sort of training do you need for this versus a regular jet?
Well, you train in a helicopter and in air. And so that gets you some experience in both of the types of flying.
The things are full strangle. It's not almost good pedal from what I say, but
No, it's a we're a single engine propeller airplane, and then a small helicopter, and then we do a multi-engines airplane stroll.
And then what sorts of challenges have you had when boarding? I said it is
Challenges that we'll see, whether it's weather or you go somewhere in the mountains where there's a lot of terrain, you have to be really vigilant. You have to know where you're going. You might go into a zone that's really dusty, and you'll lose all sight of all your surroundings. If you really have to be prepared for that, to take it to a safe hang and make sure you really expect
any possible scenario. Yeah.
And have you ever used this on a humanitarian mission? You're being rescued, away with left?
So we're both pretty new co-pilots, but our SWAT team specifically has done a lot of humanitarian work within the last couple of years out in Africa when they were deployed to Djibouti and in the Philippines, bringing water, food, and supplies to different villages where they don't have quick access by road or by other means.
So in a place where you're regionally hit by natural disaster, you're able to get supplies in there as I've been open, get back underneath.
I love doing landings. That's probably their thing in it.
In what way, Beth?
I think it's I'm fine with migraine at all. It's not it's always enjoy that.
Fantastic. Thinking that a polar operate can.
So the biggest thing, the hurdles that we deal with have to do with hot temperatures at high altitudes. So when it's exceeding 85, 90 degrees and you're up at 5,000 to 6,000 feet, the air's a lot thinner up landing, especially when it's humid. And so a motor system has a harder time with vertical lift. It'll still take off like an airplane pretty well, and it'll fly pretty well. But when you're coming into slow landings, vertical landing and takeoff, firing, it can be really hard. You really have to manage your weight.
So high wind,
Exactly.
Being able to figure it to ready airplane mode, just it lets you go on faster and further. So that was the biggest kind of enemies to the
How has it been tagged how operational efficiency with spy hatch his cat?
But I think it's just extended the distance that they take those trips. Because you can be going, like you said, 240 knots or whatever it is, and it's slow down really. So, and also descent from a high altitude that we're in. So it's essentially allowed us to take those troops in this not only fast to come in there.
Yeah, I would say just working with. Yes. Yeah. I think it is really just working with all the different Marines, whether they're with the crew or the Marines that were moving from different islands at different places, and just kind of being a part of the MAGTAB and meeting the mission.
Being able to take off from a field, like I'm meaning for what's on you can go long distances. You can do it with footy, and they can land in a small field. Like they landed in a little, essentially it was like a little campsite.
And so that is working with the Osprey. It's got complexities, the squadron and one that can work it, and this one other way that the Marines can help protect the citizens of the United States.
And so I have to say, the Osprey, Heidi, was just so fascinating. It was a real, genuine cross between an airplane and a helicopter. So it could fly forwards, it could fly backwards, it could land on a postage stamp.
Wow.
It was really amazing. And one of the things that they gave me some copy of, which I did not share in the video, is that the MV-22 Osprey stands as a testament to their modern engineering because it is rapid deployment and logistical operations for the Marine Corps. So what that means is if they need to get in places fast, rescue someone in the heat of battle, that's the thing to do it.
Really?
And it can also hold a large amount of people. So it's perfect for medevac, for taking emergency help and pulling out wounded people. It's also great for humanitarian needs. Imagine if you're in the middle of a hurricane and some people have to be evacuated from the tops of their roofs because they're in the middle of a natural disaster. So, I mean, that's what's so great about the Air Force and the Marines and the Navy and the Army. They all pull together to help protect this country.
Definitely. And not only war.
No, exactly.
Yes.
So, I mean, when you are able to just go to the grocery store and shop in peace, that's because the entire armed forces has kept your streets safe.
For sure.
And I think that I personally really grew to really appreciate them in this exposure that I have, it was amazing because it deals with diverse terrains, various conditions. It is strategic support. It follows their driving spirit. I mean, it's just so amazing, and that's why I needed this huge book that says the bond on it to help me understand about everything there, because I didn't realize how much effort, how clean they were, and how much innovation they do that we actually eventually pull between the military and NASA. How their innovations that seem ridiculous, we eventually have in our everyday life.
That's true.
Which will cover what NASA has developed a little bit later on. But first, now that I have you here, and I'm so sorry for going on and on.
No. I'm so surprised that you are really, really organized, and I can see your book. It's amazing. How did you prepare? And
it was
and
so
with
much
all passion.
fun.
Yes,
I have to say,
the passion that you have.
I loved the special assignment, and I am just thrilled that I can share it with our audience today for the very
We're
first
so
time.
lucky to have that, for sure.
But I want to ask you a question now,
Sure.
if that's okay. So, in the past, you mentioned that one of the shows that you're thinking about developing was a talent show.
Yes.
And that you also mentioned earlier that you would love to get enough funding to build a sound booth in order to help showcase some of that talent.
Yes.
So could I ask, if you did do, say, a weekly or even a bi-weekly show where we found the best talent locally, would you put that into one annual show?
Oh, definitely.
Or how is your vision on how you would take these fabulous, talented people that are touched on in these individual weekly shows? What would you do with them at the end of the year?
Well, at the beginning, we want to open to the talent people.
Okay.
Like somebody have a good voice, somebody they know how to play
Something?
music.
Okay. Dance?
And dance. Not too much of a
Not
dance.
too much dancing. Okay, we'll be proper with that one.
Yeah, maybe ballet. I like all
sure.
these things. So talented. It's more open in here too, like sport, like.
So not just music.
No,
it could
no,
be a talent on anything.
I'm planning for a big show. Like people can come and say their story about how they felt to get into specific sport or whatever. People have a lot of talent inside them, but no one can help them. So
you're saying
open the door.
You want to give them the opportunity?
Yes.
You want to give them the opportunity
Yes.
to inspire others
Yes.
to work hard on that talent.
And
Because
even the act.
yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, we can make show, we can make film, there is a lot of things that we can do. It's this channel, it's not only spiritual, but when you go home, you sit with your family, everybody have different things to see. Like you're interested in music,
Right.
somebody else in sport. So we want to have them all in one channel. Like they watch only one channel to fit
That is
everyone.
fantastic. Well, the thing I love about this is that it's an independent channel.
Yes.
So you're the one that helps decide about the programming, and the audience helps decide what you want to see. So if you have any ideas, maybe you want to contact the station and share your ideas about what you would like to see in an upcoming show.
Yes, that's a good idea.
So with that, as long as we're going on our theme of our fabulous relationship gates, are you curious about what gate number 3 would be?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if your
Beautiful.
gate is opened or closed. It's about trust and conflict resolution. So that means that with trust, you really, really trust the person on how you can count on them. That's basically, I guess, the shortest way that I can say it. is that you can really count on that person. If it's true, if your gate is open, that means that you collaborate to resolve on disagreements. You want to have constructive goals where you build towards something that you both achieve together. You don't escalate your conflict because you feel very comfortable in talking about what the real issue is. And the other person may even say, is there anything else, as a quick tip, meaning that they know that maybe you might be reacting on the surface, but there might be a real core thing that's really bothering you. And you wait until they run out of answering that question of, is there anything else that's bothering you? Until you find out really what the problem is, and then you deal with it together. If it's false, your conflict will escalate, it won't have resolution, you'll feel frustrated, you'll feel that the same argument is recurring over and over again, you feel a little bit like getting emotionally distant. So that's when your gate is closed. You're going to have arguments, frequently repeating patterns. And as wisdom from the original text of On Courtship and Marriage, it says, conflict, when handled with grace, strengthens the bond. It seeks solutions and not victories. So that means that you do not always have to be right.
That's right.
Sometimes you want to let the other person win the argument because you want a resolution. You do not need to be right about every single thing.
That's true.
And with that, I wanted to point out one of our other little gifts that we have in the front table here. It's that little yellow tumbler, which is a 22-ounce tumbler. It also comes with a fabulous little strap that makes it so easy to just swing over your shoulder and stay with you while you're just like almost like another handbag or something. But then we also have this lovely little collector's item Ferrari already in its mounted case. And this little Ferrari actually has doors that open. It also is made in Germany, lovingly, I might add. But when it's gone because it's a limited edition. And that's one of the things that we wanted to offer here at CSAT, is to give you items that you would not normally get when you're donating to a nonprofit. Because we want to realize that you're a unique person, you want something special, and you might need to have a gift to give during this fabulous holiday season. And if you want to find a gift that your loved one does not already have, it's one of these things. So you can go ahead and call up and donate and see if your gift qualifies for one of these free gifts that we're giving out today. So when you're asking yourself back to your relationship questions, here's something for you to think about. How do you think, if you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, how do you think the man should support the woman? And how do you think the woman should support the man? And is that the same or different? The other question is, how would you divide the responsibilities of daily life, the mundane things? So sure, it's fun to plan a date, it's fun to plan a night out, but how do you divide and count on your other partner for doing the mundane things, the boring things? Cleaning up, straightening up. So think about that. But let's get back to our video and find out what happens next. Oh,
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
we have a caller.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and hear from them.
Hi, my name is Mira. I'm a TV host at CSAT TV, and I'm very blessed to be part of you guys. And I'm very happy to hear what you said now. And hi, Heidi. I wish if I am with you in this episode.
Hi, so proud of you. Thank you so much for calling, Mira. Well, يعني, it's a blessing. Mira, one of the hosts, and she's like a daughter to me.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. Come on, it's true.
Heidi, she's a mother to everyone.
Is
really
that
lovable and kind.
So you are definitely part of the family.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
That is so fantastic.
I have no idea. No idea the blessing. I'm counting the blessing since I'm part of the channel.
Well, that's the thing is that.
So I wish everyone hearing me to support the channel as a channel supporting too many like families. But I have a comment in the two questions you were asking right now. Very interesting question about supporting the partners.
Yes.
And what you're expecting from your partners. So supporting, this is definitely we have to support, but what you are expecting from your partners, like the love should be unconditionally. I think if you expect something and the other party can't fulfill it, you're gonna get disappointed. So my advice to everyone: go into your relationship with no expectation. What do you think about that?
You know, I think you're right. What you don't want to do is change the other person, but you do want to build up that trust. And that's one of the cheapest ways of resolving conflict, is making sure you have that bond of trust. So let me ask you, what tip would you give, Mira, to people in order to help them build up trust if they're just getting to know each other?
I think first of all, you have to pray before even you meet your partner. This is the first thing we have all to do. Fearing God, treating the other partner or your partner as you know, when I see people, honestly, in my heart, I am very afraid. I hurt their feelings because I feel like I'm treating God. I'm not treating humans and people. So you have to see that He's the guest of the heaven, and you have to treat Him with respect, and hopefully He treats you the same.
Well, we don't, but yes. Well, every relationship is going to have some pain, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that we want to do is repair. And that's one of the great things about these 12 gates that came from a variety of different compilations. You cannot control how life and circumstances happen. There are going to be events that happen that you just cannot change it. Exactly. Natural disasters, hiccups, big things, little things. And what you want to do is understand that sometimes you are going to have that conflict. Sometimes you're not in a mood to resolve something. But as long as you make that plan to readdress the issue at a time that's convenient for both of you to talk about that, and you agree to do that, so that way you know you are going to resolve it. It may not be exactly today at this minute. Maybe you're just not in the mood for that.
True.
Maybe you need to take a break, get a good rest, get a snack, right? And make sure.
Have somebody.
Right, exactly.
Love is pain. By the way, love is pain, and it's not easy. But I wish everyone like peaceful love. That's my wish to everyone.
Well, you know what? You know what I find is that it's not necessarily pain, but if you look at it this way, do you grow any flowers, or?
I do.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, and you'll have to forgive me because I'm on a nature show and I talk about sustainability and community and all that. So, when you grow flowers like roses, you have to dump fertilizer on it, and fertilizer stinks. And then what you have to do is you have to prune that rose bush. But when you dump that fertilizer and when you prune that rose bush, what you get in springtime is the most abundant, fragrant, beautiful blossoms that bring you joy just from looking at them and lighten your mood just from the fragrance of the flowers. So that pain was necessary to get to that. If you ignored that bush and did not give it fertilizer and did not prune it, it would just be a scraggly bush that might get a blossom every now and then. But when you pay attention to it, you have a purpose and a place and a time. And that's the thing about it. So it's not.
So we need to be patient. We need to be patient.
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely. Got to be patient.
So smart.
Okay, thank you so much for the lesson. I really enjoyed talking to you and wish to see you soon. And again, to all the viewers, please help and support CSAT TV. And thank you so much for all your help.
Thank you, Habibti. Thank you so much for your call.
Heidi, thank you for everything, Heidi, you're doing for all of us. and you're a great leader. I always say it. I will always say it because you are amazing, truly. And she always treats everyone fairly. She never like put anyone up anyone. Do you understand me? You understand what I mean?
I know, Habibti. Thank you, Albi. Thank you.
Excellent leader. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, Habibti. Thank you. Keep us
I
in
love
your
you all.
prayer.
Yeah,
Love you more.
Yes. We
Thank
need
you.
everyone's prayers for
Of
everything.
course, definitely. Yes, for sure.
And so with that, would you want to see another part of the video?
Definitely.
Oh.
It's a big, huge work hard you did.
I did a lot of hard work. I did a
Yes,
lot of hard
yes,
work. I want to
yes.
show off my big binder.
So next video?
Yes, let's go see the next part of the video.
Yeah.
And they represent the best of American society, the half of 1% of our nation that chose to serve a cause greater than themselves in service to their country. It's always ready to answer the nation's call.
I learned the Marines are grateful to reach out to the local community to share the reasons why they work to defend the citizens nearby, be it Miramar, Palomar, or any other base. The act of reaching out is a reminder of the Marine Corps' commitment to defending and serving the very heart of America, its citizens. And they do it with might, precision, innovation, and selfless dedication. I learned that everything has a place, a purpose, and a reason. People are proud they come from a multi-generational Marine family. An uncle, a brother, they are all reminders of why it is honorable to serve the country yourself. Your name is on one side of your uniform and the eagle globe and anchor is on the other side, over your heart. So you always remember that you're defending the heart of America. One of the essential tasks executed after conflicts is the cleanup of the remnants of war, the explosives left behind. This way, the local community can resume peacetime activities. The wildlife can return. And by using advanced robotic technology, the Marines can safely disarm and remove dangerous ordnance without risking human life.
After a conflict has happened, the U.S. military has a responsibility to the ordnance that it leaves in other places. So we do operations globally to reduce what we call explosive remnants of war, which is ordnance or UXO left behind from previous conflicts. This robot to my right is called the MTRS-2. It is a robot that we use for reconnaissance and possibly the render safe of explosive hazards.
So I just wanted to stop there. That one of the things I was really surprised about is that, you know, during war we always see bombs blowing up and people shooting at each other and all this. But what that team was doing, and we can play the rest of it a little bit later, but what that team was doing was cleaning up after a battle. So if you've ever heard of some people who are saying we can't walk through this land anymore because the enemy went ahead and they laid landmines in here, that's their job, was to go ahead and clean it up. And one of the things that they're doing now is they're using drones and they're using little robots like that robot that we saw in the picture. And they're using that instead of people, so that helps with the amputees. It cuts that down.
Wow.
It actually allows people to, you know, leverage the technology. And look at that thing. It's not that sleek looking, but it does a job, and it helps to put a field back. So you go ahead, you sweep it for explosives, you take those explosives out, and then the community can heal. And they can recover after a conflict like this.
Very smart.
I mean, we would always like to avoid the
Yes,
conflict, but
definitely.
sometimes you can't. and so it's, I just wanted to say, as long as we're paused, I would love to ask you one other question.
Sure.
What other goals do you think that you want to accomplish with this TV station, CSAT? Like, what challenges are you having as an independent?
My challenge is in this moment,
Yeah.
we need support monthly.
Monthly support. Okay, so how would that work? Would somebody be able to commit to a certain amount every month?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
There is people working here. They have a life. They need to support their home.
Sure, sure. And all of the other good things that the station does.
Of course, that's them. This is the number one.
And giving independent programming,
Yes.
like Are You Sure? Or
Yes,
travel,
yes.
or cooking.
Cooking.
I mean, you know, some of us need a little bit of that help.
Of course, we all need. But yeah, really, we don't do fundraise. So people maybe they think that we have enough. No, actually, we don't know how to do fundraise, but we feel like people can feel it if they, you know, they see everything. It costs, and now everything getting expensive. So I'm really trying to make all the audience part of this station. Like since day one, they are with us. I really appreciate it, honestly. But we need support money-wise. Like if you support the channel with a certain amount of money monthly, like when you put monthly for your rent, for your telephone, for whatever, put some money for the channel. We all depend on you guys. We don't have any other support.
So I think that's really important to explain to the audience, is that this is done because it really started with a labor of love from your heart.
Yes.
And your heart is so full that it wants to do so many things, and all of the projects that you do help the community, helps the viewers. But unfortunately, in the world that we have today, you have expenses. And in order to continue to give that great quality, we want to reach out and invite the viewers to partner with CSAT and say, come and join us and be part of this nonprofit organization, which means your donation is a tax write-off. So talk to your accountant about that. And on top of that, you might get a fabulous gift. So it's a win-win situation, and that's one of the things that Heidi loves to do, is build win-win situations. And so when you partner, you not only help yourself, you not only give to a great organization, but you also are able to reach more people with your contribution. So consider donating, and or if you can't, share the word with someone else, with someone that you in your life that you know who could go ahead and afford, whether it's a small amount or a large amount. And any amount is going to be helpful. But if you decide to donate a larger amount, then you would get this fantastic gift, which you can either keep for yourself or you can give to someone for the holidays. And it's definitely going to be something that they don't have. Because one of the things that we do, and we try to harness local talent, like Heidi was mentioning with an upcoming show that she would love to produce, is that all of the artwork that we have on here is also done from local artists. So we have the mugs, the etching, the books, everything is harnessing local California talent. And so we want to go ahead and really reward that, and you can help acknowledge that as well. So not only are we understanding with the special assignments of seeing how people are keeping America safe, but the station CSAT is helping keep your community healthy, happy, and safe with a full heart and with love that you can share. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Heidi for one last word before maybe we continue with the video. So Heidi, do you want to talk first?
Yeah, I just want to say something. I really appreciate she actually giving this as a gift for you guys for the channel. People, if they donate, she's offering all these things, donate and get a gift. That's what she helped us with. I really appreciate it. So everybody can do something. We have the channel, we offer all the programs, and she donating her time for her show. She donating all these gifts for you to feel like appreciating. We appreciate your gift, your support, your donation, and thank you. Honestly, from all my heart, you're doing a lot, and God will reward you. Honestly.
Thank you very much. And also the viewers. Remember, your heart can be shared with more people than when you commit to support on a regular basis. And as Heidi was just mentioning, a one-time donation is definitely appreciated, but if you could partner with the station and commit to a monthly donation of any amount, then that would be so appreciative, or we would so appreciate that, and you would be rewarded not only with fantastic content, or maybe a new show, or maybe even an idea that you submit will make it to the production desk and we'll review it. But what we really want to do is make sure that you understand that you are a family. We respect the fact that you're busy, you've got a full life, you could look at any station, and you've chosen to look at this one. You've chosen to be with us, and we so appreciate that, and we value you. So with that, let's go ahead and see the next part of my special assignment video.
We're here to talk about the F-35V. It's a Lightning, and it stands at the forefront of military aviation. So we're here today with an expert to explain to us a little bit more about it, why it's important. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
You are.
Captain Killian Daly, just completed here as a student. I'm so looking forward to entering one of our first shows.
Fabulous. Well, first of all, you know a little bit more about the F-35 than I do. So can you tell me first off, why is it important to you, right?
It's important for race because it can provide basically a myriad of tools. As we remember really well, my underground missions such as CAS, Shirai, direct coordination students, basically provide and record a lot of tools to be able to fully use.
And can you tell me a little bit about the stealth technology?
I can't comment too much on that. There is a lot.
Is that a stealthing question? Well, stealthing or
I guess, yeah, you can look at it that way.
Can you tell me a little bit about the advanced avionics?
I can't talk too much about that. Yeah, it's a lot of this stuff is protected very highly. So,
How does the software contribute to the effectiveness of the mission?
So software, it does a lot of tying together things from that other aircraft are seeing. So basically, the amount of situational awareness keeps in the cockpit is pretty significant. So
is it a little bit like a data lake that pulls data from a variety of different sources in order to give the pilot exactly what he needs or his mission?
Absolutely.
Can you tell me what a pilot's experience would be when flying this the other way?
Basically, just the amount of situational awareness you're having at your fingertips. You could see a lot around the. You could see what all the other aircraft are doing in the airspace, and it allows you, again, greater situational awareness to make decisions.
If I want to explain to the public why this vehicle is so important news to just our overall military efforts, what could you advise I tell them?
I would tell them, yes, it's very expensive. However, the capabilities of this cranes, it's head and shoulders above everyone else around.
Did this give us a tactical advantage?
Absolutely. Attacks is operation strategic.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Is there anything else you'd like to share about this craft?
Specifically the Bravo model, because of its scopal capabilities, it allows us to maneuver the points from Miguel, and I think that is of most important to the regular, because any climb to this. So.
Does this differ from the Alpha model?
It does. The Alpha model is restricted for runways. There's some differences here and there, but this Bravo model, because it can do the vertical landing and short takeoff, and the routes to stop where any mouse steer time seeing ship last side.
Does that mean you can land in a very small patch of land or even on an aircraft carrier?
Absolutely, yeah. So go to LHDs and LHAs, so these all are the aircraft carriers, if you will. We're also going to land on the helicopter path or highway, legally down with.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time out and helping to explain to the public. And so that's how we learn a little bit more about the advanced avionics that the military is bringing us. And we want to say thank you so much and really appreciate the time that you took. So stay with us. We'll see you in the next segment.
So one of the things that I have to share is that the environment on that day was so loud. There were explosions going off and planes flying by. And I really appreciate the editing that was done in order to get rid of all of that excess noise so you could actually hear some of the sound. But I understand that some of it, as you saw earlier, we had to explain because the sound was just so bad. But that's all part of the experience, and that's what makes it so much fun. It was a fabulous, frantic, fast-paced day. And when we're talking about the F-35, the thing that's interesting about the B model, or the Bravo model, as he was saying, is that it's what he calls STOVL, which is a short takeoff and landing. And what that means is that, like a helicopter, it's going to land on a very, very small piece, as opposed to being like a regular plane that needs a long runway before it lands. And one of the comments that they gave us was that it's designed for very diverse scenarios, and that it makes sure that because of the technology that he was not willing to share because it's stealthy, actually can make that plane somewhat stealthy. And so they don't want to let that get out. But we do want to make sure that the allies of America are trained on how to go ahead and fly an F-35B, and also later on you'll see an F-22. Very exciting because these planes are almost like little spaceships. They can do amazing things, and it's so technical that you have to go through such specialized training to fly it. So there's a commitment to maintaining it, to ensuring that you continue that aviation and go from there. So I just wanted to share that with you out of my magic marine book. But now we're back with Heidi, and I wanted to just ask you about when you have the future and you've met your goal, what do you think is the message that you're going to be giving to the community that currently watches you? Do you think you're going to expand the community to other cultures, other languages, or?
For sure, that's how we start. Like we speaking Arabic or Egyptian, and when we came here, we have to speak English, and we have to be involved with the community, doing more programs. Especially second generation, they don't know that much of the culture, of our language. Like the Arabic. They don't know how to read or write, but maybe they can understand when we talk to them. So basically, they are American. And of course, we need to go to more language, maybe Europe, Germany, like you bring.
Sure, yeah. We have allies
French.
all over.
Yes. It's
So
good to know. Yes, why not?
That is great. Well, let me go ahead then and touch on our fourth gate, which is shared goals. So this may seem like a very basic thing, but the gate with shared goals can means that if it's opened, that means it's true. Means that you frequently discuss and you align with each other's shared goals. You have motivations in common, you have destinations in common. And partners that have discussed and aligned on their major goals can then tolerate any minor goal differences. So from that courtship and marriage, one quote from there is, "Shared visions create powerful bonds. Together, dream and aspire." And if it's false, if the gate is closed, you'll be able to know that your gate is closed if you find that you are definitely and consistently diverging, meaning you're choosing two different paths, and you have no interest in seeing how your path can touch on your partner's path. So you have a significant difference in your future goals, or you've decided not to have those plans. So think about it as if you feel like big ugly boots are stomping all over your feelings. Think about it as if you need to have caution tape all the time, that yellow caution tape that says, no, don't come in here. So you feel all stepped on, you feel really just defensive. And so you might get criticism, you might get contempt. And the way that you're going to know that you're giving criticism is that you frequently point out your partner's shortcomings or in how ridiculous it is for them to pursue their goals. And you're okay with that disagreement. You know that you are getting criticism from your partner when you feel hurt and unappreciated, when you feel like the efforts that you've done are like the fiery darts that fall into a wooden fence and you feel like you're just burning up and you're constantly getting attacked. So you're giving contempt when you dismiss your partner's goals and you say that their goals are obviously not as important as your goals. My goals are far superior to your goals. And you know that you're getting contempt when you feel as if when you mention to your partner that you want to achieve a goal, you evoke something like an eye roll or some dismissive gesture, doesn't even have an insult thrown at you. And those are things that can make sure that that gate of shared goals is closed. And we want to go ahead and keep that open. And after we talk about all these, it's okay if you have a closed gate, because at the end of the program, we might touch on what that means for you to do in order to repair that. So with that, I also wanted to point out another couple of things with our lovely gifts, where if you've decided to donate and get a free gift, we have these puzzle toys. And when you get this nice, wonderful big mug, it has both hot and cold and will keep it cold for about 20 hours. That's amazing on a hot day, and on a cold day you want your stuff nice and toasty. And this particular hide and slide, and I'll just show it up in front here, is that it's not just a puzzle, but it actually teaches the dog to hunt and to slow down. So if you find that your dog is getting bored or is doing something destructive, like eating your shoes, then what you want to do is put some food underneath each of those little levers, and they'll be able to bat it around and use their sense of scent, which is one of their talents that humans just do not have, in order to get that food. It's a great way of also training them if you want them to start recognizing a scent. And that goes into training animals for very specific type of work, like how do you train a dog to smell if somebody is going through a diabetic attack and needs help? Well, that's one of the wonderful things about training dogs to be service animals, to help people. Again, that's a contribution you can volunteer to do and help your local community. And I think I wanted to ask you, Heidi, was that one of the things, I think you mentioned it in the hallway, so I apologize for bringing it up live, but did you want to do a show, if you got the funding for it, to see how long it takes people to learn how to train service dogs?
Of course.
So
everybody loves pets, like the young kids and adult, and even in our age, I love to have dogs and cats and
any pet.
Any pets.
Yes,
no,
absolutely.
honestly, my kids grew up with the different pets, even rabbit and rats and or mice. The little white one.
Huge.
Yeah, and cat and so many dogs. It's really good to have pets, but it's the way how you treat them, or how you teach them, or
train them.
Oh, train them.
Yeah,
it's really big, huge thing, because, like you said, they bite the shoes, they bite the couch, like they have a very tough teeth, so they can do things.
Exactly, and just like with people, you want to take what comes naturally to them, their talents, their instincts, and you want them to use it for the good of the whole family unit.
That's right.
So whether it's another human family member or a family member with 4 legs and fur, we want to make sure that they're all happy.
Of course.
So that's what it is to have your goals and your dreams shared. So are we ready to take another peek at the video?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
let's go ahead and see the rest of another portion of the video. Okay, well, that was a very short bit of the video. And we do want to welcome you back, and that's why we're alive. So one of the things I wanted to also mention when we were talking about these fabulous books, this one is one of the ones that you can deal with. This is a very interesting story because it's an action adventure, and all of these stories, all of these books are not just written to be in big print, but they are also in the back in case you want to hone your vocabulary. It talks about a section that says, did you know? And it will give you a really interesting fact. And the did you know section that's in the back of every book is really helpful because if you're in a family environment and you're getting a little stale in your conversation and you need something fresh to talk about, something that's in one of these did you know sections is going to be great for starting that conversation. And when you start that conversation, it's not threatening. It's not saying, tell me about your secrets or anything like that, but it's asking for their perspective and getting to know them on a different level. I mean, have you ever asked your partner what their favorite tree is? I mean, maybe that's another perspective that you want to go ahead and find out about. Now, not only do we have the Did You Know section, but there's also sometimes some vocabulary that you can learn. In the 1770s book that you have in Firebrand, there's a lot of vocabulary that was used as part of the English language that we just do not use today. And so it's really helpful to understand what it really means. And then how those words evolved and how that impacts things like fashion. So for example, back in the 1700s when women had those big skirts, that was before they had handbags. And so they actually had very deep pockets inside those skirts. And so then when fashions got, in the 1800s, got more silhouette form-fitting, suddenly they needed to put their things somewhere. And that's when we started getting little handbags. So all of this evolution comes up with how it impacts our lives and how it impacts you. So that one set of books of the Firebrand is in the 1770s. This particular one is in the near future, in the 2030s, and it follows the life of Sarah Paradise, who is a woman who is a school teacher, and also Bjorn Esterday, who is an investigative reporter. And they are reluctant heroes in this series. So it's filled with action, adventure, but there's no profanity, there's no sex. There might be a little bit of action, somebody might be throwing a punch every now and then, but there's no gore, no violence. And that's one of the things that we wanted to bring, is a G-rated fun action adventure that can be shared with all families. And one of the places that I tested one of these sets of books on was in a convent in New Jersey. And they actually really liked it. So if nuns like it, then I think that it will be safe for you and your family at any age.
That's true. Interesting.
So there's a lot going on with each of these things, and it all goes under the same theme of how do you start a conversation with someone in real life for the sole purpose of building that relationship.
Very smart, very nice.
So with that, that's our little commercial break, and let's get back to the video.
To make us through, and the people who actually organize the show.
Thank you so much for having us. My name is Matthew John Vogel.
A blessing for me to be the senior enlisted leader, the superintendent of Rehab 22 and migration team with the 2020 management courses.
Oh, absolutely. So when we are looking at that, we are adding abilities, piloting. We can teach everything about showcasing the aircraft. We can teach everything that someone needs to know to fix it. So we We knew everything from the logistical planning to make sure that our highly trained team family dinners where we just talk. Absolutely. So with that, we are again constantly talking about what we do, what's our next best step, and nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, but what we are doing is keeping safety paramount from there. And with that, when we do run into issues, we run into a lot of them, some of them being little, some of them being big, we just come together. We come together as a team and we say, and let's talk from A to Z. We talk through all of it. And sometimes that takes a while. Sometimes it's a 10-minute conversation, sometimes it's an hour. But when we are done, he roundtable all of that because we all know that everyone today is just to be finishing the minutes or illegal and talk communication. But we always say, comms. And let's talk through it and let's make sure that the next time we are there, we're better than what we were. How we could go to that latest and loved up. And one of the best things that I was told when I was a young airman is, and we strive for perfection, we are going to reach excellence. Excellent in what they do, like top-notch individuals, and I would highly suggest that you reach out to one of them because they are amazing people through and all over the globe, really. And from that, really just coming to top. A lot of air show would great if I'd encourage people to come out. We're beautiful days like this and just meeting people or what kind of more forward people. There's nothing special about us except for just starting working together. We became the special. So
the U.S. Air Force demonstrates what transforms average citizens into extraordinary F-22 Raptor teams.
So you know what I enjoyed on that day? That blue Lamborghini that we just saw actually tried to race one of the airplanes.
No way.
It lost. The Lamborghini lost. So what was really interesting was the firepower that these planes did. They gave a demonstration of all of the explosions, and you could not see where the planes were. I mean, they literally just zipped in, and suddenly things were blowing up.
Wow.
You could not see it coming. It was really an amazing demonstration of might.
For sure.
And one of the things that he was talking about with the F-22 team is that one of their keys to success is their team treats each other like a family.
Wow, see?
And when he was talking comms, what he meant was communication. And that's what is so key, not only in the military, but in everyday life. With building society, doing an outreach like this station does is so important. And that's why it's such a blessing when people can actually view this and view the content on here, so that way that they can actually benefit from wholesome, good, solid, entertaining content. And that's what is so amazing. So with the F-22, what he was saying was he wants to shoot for something that's a ridiculous goal because he knows if he falls short of it, it's still high at excellence. Oh. And that's what he wants to do. And that's how the F-22 team is so pulled together. Now, one of the things that the F-22 team asked me to do, which I thought was really interesting, is they said, you know, if you ever produce this video and put it out on CSAT, without knowing that CSAT was an Arabic language station, they asked me if I could translate it into Arabic.
No way.
And I asked them why.
Wow.
And they said because the Arabic people are so important that they build up these allied relationships with them, and they want to be able to share about the military F-22 team with that culture.
Wow.
So I was really surprised,
Of
and
course.
I think we might know somebody who knows Arabic. Not a problem.
Not a problem,
But
for
it
sure.
was because of that we've decided that when we have this Blue Angels, we wanted to translate it into other languages also.
Yes,
Now,
for sure.
we are a budget station, so we did not hire an actual linguist, but we did leverage some computer help with translating it. And so that way it's available for any of your viewers who may want to see the entire thing in Arabic.
Yes,
And
thank
do
you.
pardon the sound, because I know that there was some sound that was very loud and they tried to get rid of it in editing so you could hear the words, but sometimes it was tricky. But if your audience is interested in it, maybe we could do some more follow-up with NASA and also the military bases and find out more
Definitely.
information.
Yes, yes.
Because I think it's such a part of our culture that we do not know about. It's something that is around us, but we may not give it much thought, and we may
True.
not give it the honor it deserves.
True. So true. Because we are narrow-minded, we have the thinking these things only for war.
Exactly.
But see, and we don't know what's behind the scene, what's the reason, what's the stuff they doing to help us.
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's
absolutely.
really good to know.
And with big storms coming around that's destroying entire towns.
Yeah, true.
You know, those machines are there to help us, there to help pull the American citizens out of that danger zone, to save our lives, to partner with places like the Red Cross or FEMA or any of those other agencies that are there to help American citizens. So it gave me such a sense of pride and respect for the work that every single person there does. Not everyone shoots a gun. There are so many different facets to being in the military. It's very much like the body, right? You're a hand, you're a foot, you're a nose, you're an eye. You have a purpose.
Definitely.
And focus on what's good for that purpose, but come together, because together you become the body.
Yes, the bond.
So yes, that's the bond. That's the I love it.
Yes.
And so with that, do you want to hear about gate number 5?
For sure.
Okay.
I love it.
So gate number 5 is dealing with financial compatibility. Now, this may seem like keeping a budget, but really what this is our partners in agreement on financial goals and on their spending priorities. So you'll know that your gate is opened or true when your partners collaborate on financial decisions. When you say, I'm going to buy this expensive thing, but I want you to know about it. I want you to be aware about it. You feel like your opinion about that decision is respected and is equal and valued. And you can have an open discussion about it. You could say, I don't think it's a good idea now, maybe we should wait, or maybe we should not do it at all and instead put money into something else. You'll have similar attitudes towards money, whether it's saving or spending, and you have agreed upon goals, things that you both want to save for. So, for example, both partners agree on your financial goals, your savings, and your spending priorities. Major purchases are decided upon, or you're decided together. And you will not make a big purchase without consulting your partner. Or you have very open communication about the finances. Even if you disagree about it, you still feel like you can talk about it with your partner. So an example would be like, what if one partner wants to, I don't know, finish school and spend money on tuition, but the other one values something else and says, no, we both need to work full-time jobs. So think about that, and think about if it's really an investment in your union together to have one of you go back to school and possibly get a better job after that. So those are all decisions. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's a decision that you have to make together. So wisdom from the 1700s is wealth is not merely in coin, but shared vision. So align your fiscal paths. And that is the wisdom from hundreds of years ago. So now how do you know if that gate is closed or false? Well, you're going to have financial disagreements. And those are going to keep coming up. You're constantly going to disagree over the same things. Or one party is going to accuse the other one of just spending so much without giving it much thought, while the other party is saying, well, you're too tight with your finances. So you're going to have those conflicts, and plans will continually be revised and may go back to that same conflict. So it's like you're repeating it over and over again. You can't break the cycle. So it's persistent disagreements. One partner feels that they have to manage everything and hide spending from the other, so you want to keep things hidden. You'll have major financial decisions that are made unilaterally by one person, locking out the other one without asking them their opinion. And so a sign might be when one partner's goal is minimized. Well, you really want to do this? Well, that's just nothing. my goal is much more important. So you're lucky that I get to even think about a little bit of money for you to follow your hobby. So that's all a gate that's closed. So what is a roadblock that would can sort of seal this gate shut? So let's look at some roadblocks, like the roadblock of complaining and stonewalling. So complaining is like an ice wall that blocks you out. So when you look at that wall of ice, think of it as if you're giving complaints, you're frequently voicing your dissatisfaction with your partner, with all of their habits. You're nitpicking at them, and it leads to a very tense environment. You are discouraging them, you're downplaying them, and you didn't diminish your partner's worth. If you are giving that icy wall of complaining, then you feel defensive when your partner complains about your spending habits and you feel frustrated. So also stonewalling. If you're getting stonewalled by your partner, you feel as if you cannot bring this topic up on finances, and your partner is just going to quickly change the subject and not want to do it, or they just check out. They tune out and they just don't want to have anything to do with it. So that means that the topic never gets resolved. So those are those things that you can be aware of, and remember, it's okay if you have a closed gate or two, because there's ways to repair closed gates. Get those hinges working and swing that gate wide open again. So we want to make sure that we can all walk in those beautiful gardens with those beautiful open gates.
For sure.
And
Yes.
move on with that.
Yes.
So, and we also want to take lessons from our F-22 and our F-35 people, where it's excellent technology, but they're also treating each other like family. So we want to make sure that we learn from every source that we can to have a better community. And with that, what do you think about the whole idea of translating some of the content, using a computer to help translate it, so that
I
it
love
can be
it.
from
That's
English to Arabic?
That's like a dream to come true. Like,
is it?
Of
Oh,
course,
good,
because
good.
we didn't know how to do it, and the old way, you need somebody, and
takes a long time.
Exactly, it was really hard. But now, oh, thank God, technology, yes.
Well,
yes.
and that's all because of the donors that you currently have.
Yes.
Gave us a little bit of the ability to look into that
Yes.
and evaluate it. So again, I just want to remind you that when you donate, you can go ahead and be part of the CSAT family and make your world better by having one of these amazing gifts available. You can either take for yourself, or you can give it to a loved one. Absolutely unique gifts. It's not just a standard tote bag. It's not just a standard baseball cap. It's something that's unique and different, and you can't get very much anywhere else. And it's high quality.
Very high quality. I can see it.
Very
It's
high quality.
Really nice.
So
Yes.
with that, let's go ahead and see if we can just finish up our last video.
So with the F-18 that's right behind us, this is a really cool aircraft. Fun fact that's related to the air show is that this F-18 in particular used to man with an angel. So it's kind of an iconic full circle moment that's the gal present here. And post a second person, there's a second seat, and that can, so it's a two-seater. And the second seat is really helpful when we're flying other aircraft and want to get ear-to-ear images. So we have an upcoming aircraft that we know will buy in the next few weeks, the X-79, our latest 202 aircraft. So to measure whether our X-79 is going to be playable, we'll have some micro praise. We'll also go out to communities and collect responses. But we are looking to go from a sonic loop to more help. And we're at this to being, if we can mitigate the boom, then we should go from a speed measurement to a rolling measurement. Yeah, so looking at wildlife impact is also one that we're looking at. Yeah, so the public is interested in getting more information over this. You put this in NASA.gov/aeronautics. Just NASA.gov general, and also follow us on social media across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at NASA and at NASA Aero. think this is really interesting. We're working with wildfire firefighters to give them new tools for these large rock fires, basically. So we understand that they don't have a bit of technology. It's been mentioned for decades. We want to enable them to send in drones and then remotely pilot helicopters to fight these fires and then Sure. So what we're on is our air traffic management expertise from most of the agency, and we're using that for drones for wildfire. It could also be used for disaster relief, hurricanes, and you're looking for search and rescue missions. So even at the top, the communications network that doesn't rely on here. Yeah, that's a great question. So it's designed to share information in and out with pilots met out on the ground and with other pilots on the ground. And so we have a shared awareness of where the fire is, where aircraft it is.
So it's like a network. Yeah, you're trying to tap into what's the ability to link them going to work.
Yeah, that's a great, I think, explanation. So it shows you like a live feed of the aircraft. It shows the fire information. They should all have access to that framework, and they wouldn't have to rely on internet.
Now, are you able to also address other types of natural disaster and earthquakes, fraud, and
Yeah, so you could apply this stuff to different use cases. This one right now, early stages, is looking at wildfire, but as I mentioned, you could use it for instances where you don't have cell tower access. And so there's a lot going on. I'm here more talking about our wildfire air traffic ways, but we also have a ton of other air traffic management tasks working service providers to be only air taxis as cargo balloon. No, not right.
We're here today with NASA and I'm going to talk about the Alta-X drone.
I'm a jacket in front of us. This is manufactured in Desmond. The VSDA is processed into a data sets that to be used in a model that you and I can interface with.
Derek shared that the Alta-X research drone collects data and images which help make decisions in complex situations and can travel in areas which are not safe for humans. It's another way NASA research is giving us practical solutions for our ever-changing world.
That is another way that an institution like NASA is helping everyday people like us with their behind-the-scenes innovations and advancements in technology to make all of our lives better, safer, and happier.
And so what I loved about that was the fact that the airplane that those women were standing in front of was actually a retired Blue Angel airplane. So I wanted to know what on earth happens when those Blue Angel airplanes, those F-18s, what happens when they wear out or they need to get a new set of airplanes? And do you know what happens?
What?
NASA goes ahead and picks it up. So the F-18 is a one-seater airplane, and it is done to do those amazing aerobatics that the Blue Angels do. But when NASA gets it, they give it a whole new life. And that's what they were talking about, is that that particular airplane is something that they are studying to get rid of the sonic boom. And the sonic boom happens when you're traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Oh.
And it gets this sort of vroom, almost like the tail of the airplane is scraping across the sky. But what they're doing is they're studying it. They're sending up the airplane with microphones. They're figuring out how can we modify this so that we get rid of that boom, which means you're going to have airplanes
Smooth.
Going super fast, faster than the speed of sound, silently.
Wow.
And they're able to put in 2 seats in that, so it's a 2-seater now. But it means all sorts of research is happening in order to have that come up. And then the Alta-X drone was really interesting because when you have tall skyscrapers and you have aircraft coming by, you get updrafts. And that means that it's very unstable for the aircraft. And with these drones, they're studying what is that like, and where can these craft go when you have a big storm and you have these buildings, and what types of research can they pull in from that to help build better equipment or even better drones, more accurate drones. And then the Acero, which is dealing with a natural disaster where when you have a flood or a fire or something, immediately your communication goes down. You have no cell phone service. You can't talk to the other people who are there to help, right? And how do you communicate? How do you find where that victim is that needs to be rescued?
Yes.
Well, their communication will allow the network of basically rescue people communicate with each other separate from needing any cell tower or any internet access, completely separate network totally that will not get disrupted with bad weather.
Wow.
And they'll be able to send out drones and be able to scout things out. It'll make search and rescue so much more effective. And that means fewer loss of life, which means more people get to stay alive and get reunited with their families and get reestablished with their communities.
Beautiful.
And watch CSAT.
Yes, that's the main reason.
Yes, exactly. We want everybody rescued from natural disasters just to watch CSAT. And so I thought that was really, really fascinating. And I've saved the best for last as far as what you're going to see in the next video. But before that, could I share with you the sixth gate?
Yes.
Okay. So the sixth gate is when your partner supports your individual goals. This is the personal growth gate. So you'll know it is true or that your gate is opened when you encourage your partner to pursue a goal and that you celebrate their success. That means it's very selfless. If they achieve something, you're happy about it. So even though they go through challenges, you tell them to stick with it. Both partners encourage and support each other's individual goals, which means you're developing separately. And the act of helping the other one develop separately means you now can also have goals that you have in common. So you have that security that you can go ahead and do your thing, but also come back and do something with your partner. So you support each other's aspirations, whether that means your education, your career. One partner may even adjust their life to help support you. And that means that they might even take on more roles and responsibilities to allow you to pursue that goal. That is wonderful. So wisdom from old ancient ways says, a thriving relationship nurtures the growth of both. Uplift one another to reach your new heights. And that's what's so important about that. How do you know your gate is closed? How do you know this one is false? Well, one partner will feel diminished or dismissed. They will feel unsupported or like they are on their own. They may even feel a little bit resentful. But that's not even getting into the types of roadblocks that could hurt this. So one partner feels threatened by the other's goals, or when a challenge presents itself, the partner uses that as an excuse for the other partner to just stop pursuing their goals. They're like, look, here's a challenge. That means you got to stop everything. You feel dismissed or criticized. You feel as if you are the only one making sacrifices. You feel like you're lacking empathy and there's no one there that's available to listen to you. So, what is one of the main roadblocks with this? And that is the roadblock of disinterest. So you'll know that you are giving disinterest when you show very little enthusiasm for your partner's pursuits or you try to dial it back. You know that you are getting that roadblock of disinterest when you feel unvalued or when your partner just appears indifferent to you. And you try and go and show this accomplishment and you do not get happiness. You get like dismissed or even scolded for having achieved that. So that is a gate that is closed for you. And now, in our last few moments, I wanted to save the absolute best for last, the aerobatics that are done by this amazing team of Blue Angels. I just want you to see it firsthand for yourself. Let's go ahead and play the video.
In the power of our most advanced technology, merged with the professionalism, the precision in the ironclad discipline of the people who fix and fly these airplanes.
For nearly 250 years, Marines have answered the call of our nation, serving on the front lines of every major conflict and in every corner of the globe. From the shores of Tripoli to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Marine Corps has one mission: protect the United States by being the first to fight and win.
Keep playing. And wasn't that amazing? I mean, the way that they got so close.
Oh, yes.
Did you know that they have an announcer, and that announcer has everything memorized, so many historical facts. It really makes you appreciate the level of work that these Marines go through. But it's not just the Blue Angels. The F-22 team also has such an amazing team. And every unit that was on each of those vehicles really had to come together, learn some very difficult stuff. The maintenance of it, the doctor that's assigned to the unique types of things that the pilots might suffer, the fact that they might black out if they go too high, too fast. I mean, they have to be super at the very best shape, which I am not in good shape, so
No, you did great.
But this was such a fun, special assignment, and I am so glad I was able to do it and share it with the entire audience, because it's this type of content that that makes CSAT unique, because we want to be able to have a different perspective. Sure, it could have just been a regular air show. We have all kinds of things about the air show. I mean, you can see here, I went to America's Air Show. See that? But the thing is that what we wanted to do is come at it with a different perspective. We wanted to highlight things that NASA was doing. We wanted to highlight the different types of technology, and we wanted to educate about the fact that in peacetime, they innovate and they help us, and they are part of our community. So the next time you see someone in uniform, especially with Veterans Day coming up on November 11th, we want you to reach out and say thank you.
Yes.
For your service.
Yes.
And even if they are not in the military, but they have always wanted to be in the military, then do something to honor that. So we wanted to say thank you to our veterans, thank you to CSAT, and especially thank you to our viewers who have supported us for 13 years.
Yes.
And so, Heidi, do you have any last words as we finish up?
Of course. First, I thank you so much from all my heart. It's amazing work you do. It's really, you are a blessing. And yes, that's what all we feel like. I don't know. There is no word to say whatever I feel toward whatever you do. And you have a really good passion of what you do and what you offer. Plus, guys, I have to tell you, أنا هتكلم. I'm gonna speak in Arabic.
Please.
الحقيقة هي استضافتني النهاردة في البرنامج بتاعها. هي بتعمله كله بالإنجليش. I'm sorry. بتعمله كله بالإنجليش. وانا اسفه ان انا ما قدرتش ان انا اترجم اي حاجه، لكن هي متبرعه وعطشانه. كل الحاجات دي هديه، لو تقدر تجيبها لنا. ايوه برافو. حاجات جميله جدا للبيتس، اذا كان كلب او قطه. dogs and cats. هديه في منتهى الجمال. الحاجات دي مش هتلاقوها بره في اي مكان. اتس بازل بتحط الاكل فيها، ودي للاب يعني
beverage drink.
beverage drink. No, I mean this is for me and this is for my dog.
Yes,
we partner together.
Yes, you do not need to give your dog the
No, this is for you and this is for your dog. ده ليك انت وده للكلب.
And this can do hot and cold, and there's room in here for a straw. And you can also turn it around and just drink straight from there. And it's got a nice handle. Can put it in the dishwasher.
You said it's a cold and water. How long to keep the?
I believe it is
20 hours. You say?
I think it's about 20 hours.
Yes. So ساقع وسخن، تحط فيها قهوة، تحط فيها مية، وبرده دي لعبة للكلب. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. There is 2 mugs. الاتنين بيجوا جنب بعض بيعملوا قلب. ودي BMW. It's okay. دي BMW. يعني حاجة قيمة جدا. وفي فراري.
Look at this
It's a
wonderful
German.
Ferrari.
الحاجات دي من ألمانيا يا جماعة، والحاجات دي addition. يعني حاجة سبيشال لينا احنا بس، يعني مش هتلاقيها في أي حتة. واتس هاي كواليتي. كل ده هي متبرعه بيه عشاننا. في الكتب دي دول 16 كتاب، قصص في منتهى الجمال ومسلسله مع بعض. another set of 10. برضو 10 كتب حلوين جدا. نقدر يعني برضو هدايا للي بيحب يقرا. يعني اللي انا اقصده ان الناس كل واحد بيحاول بطريقه ازاي يساعد القناه. دي هدايا، واللي يقدر يعني يتبرع هياخدها هديه. وعشان نشجعها ان هي قدرت تعمل حاجه للقناه، يا ريت اللي حابب ان يتبرع، مش هقول بكام، لكن على الاقل تبرع حلو كده ويفضل ثابت شهري، يبقى ممتاز جدا. يا جماعه احنا مش عشان ما بنعملش فند ريز يبقى احنا مش محتاجين. بالعكس، في بيوت مفتوحه، في خدمه جميله بتتعمل. مش بنقدر نقصر في حاجه ونعمل حاجه وما نعملش حاجه. الحاجات بتاعت مصر لازم اولاد الملك دي يعني اول حاجه. عندنا اقساط النايل سات والايجار والكهرباء والحاجات اليوتيليتيز المهمه. طبعا مرتبات وبيوت مفتوحه، خدمه جميله وبتكبر والدنيا بتغلى جدا. احنا عايزين بس مش عايزين زياده يا جماعه. يعني احنا مستوره والحمد لله، بس يعني بالماينس. يعني اتمنى ان انتوا تكونوا حاسين بينا، لان احنا في السنه 13 وانا حاسه ان احنا طالما وصلنا ذات فار يبقى اكيد ربنا رايد ان هتكمل وراضي عن الخدمه دي، واحنا واثقين فيكم وفي ربنا وبشكركم جدا. Thank you so much. I really,
thank you.
Yeah, honestly, there is no word can describe my feeling.
I always have such a good time when I interview people on the show on the Bond. I love getting to know them, and they share things with me that educates not only me but hopefully the audience. And this has been such a fantastic opportunity, and I am incredibly grateful to you for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
So I am just hoping that our audience can understand how much I appreciate Heidi and the station, and I hope that you also appreciate the content and all of the hard behind-the-scenes work that goes into presenting something to you. There are people that you don't even see on camera. All of the behind-the-scenes work that goes on. The team is amazing.
Yes.
I have worked with so many different teams of people, and I have to tell you with confidence, the behind-the-scenes staff that you never see on camera is top-notch. They are the best. And so help us support giving you the best content by keeping the best people employed. And with that, I'm going to give it back over to Heidi and say thank you so much for the opportunity to have this amazing show on CSAT.
Thank you for partnering with us, and thank you for getting me with you together today and talk about CSAT and talk about Blue Angels. I'm really, really happy to be with you today.
Well, thank you so much. And so with that, I will say thank you on this very special edition of The Bond. And until we bond again.
It is when we gather together in harmony. We thank you for this beautiful day, O God, that we can stand before you today and ask for your presence with us as a community, as a nation. We come to you because of this peaceful, patriotic day. It reminds us of the freedom that we have as Americans, a freedom that you have provided and that you have allowed. Help us today to be reminded of our significance, our purpose in life. Unite us, O God, to edify and not to tear down, to support and encourage one another so that we build a strong foundation and be with the performers today. Keep them safe and alert. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.